I didn't get the printout. That's fine. The Boston Fashion Week printout. Yeah, I can just pull it up on my phone. Mhm. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Somerville Line. I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. Now, we have a very, very, very special show for you this evening. We have some really awesome vendors who are going to be part of Boston's Fashion Week, which is coming up. Let me give you guys all the info and all the details. So, we have the actual kickoff on September 30th at the Royale in Boston, where a lot of awesome events happen. And we actually have, if you guys watch Power, you're going to be in for a real treat because one of their actresses is going to be hosting the event. So we're actually going to tell you guys a little bit more about that halfway through the show. We absolutely want to remind everyone about our Evolution of Hip Hop event. It is coming up a week from Sunday. Wow, the time flies. It is our 3rd annual Evolution of Hip Hop event. Sponsored by Somerville Line, Somerville Arts Council, and also Experience Creative as well. It is going to be from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. You want to be there. We have some awesome performers. Headlining it is Oompa. If you don't know who she is, you need to do your Googles and figure out who she is. She's part of Hipstery. She is an amazing rapper, MC, slam, poet, you name it. She does it all. But definitely want to come down. It's going to be right outside the studio in Union Square in Somerville, so we definitely want to see you there. So yeah, we're just going to get started. So I have my first guest here. Welcome, 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 Miss Sam Walker.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So I know that you have a vegan nail lacquer. So tell me, what does that mean? What is that?
So Les Cosmetics is a luxury vegan nail lacquer line. We're focused on women empower and diversity, but I wanted to create a luxury vegan nail lacquer line specifically for women of color. Oftentimes in the luxury, especially the vegan market, there lacks diversity when it comes to different skin tones and pigments, and I think that it should broaden the range of different skin tones and pigments offered within those brands. So basically, Les Cosmetics is going to change the cosmetic industry and offer different color, starting off with the nail polish, offer different color nail polishes that will complement different skin tones. So for example, there's 2 different pinks I have. One is called Kemp and one is Niche.
Nice.
The Kemp one is a little bit lighter, so for you, that might be a great fit, but for someone a little bit for someone with a paler skin tone, they might want the one called Niche because it will fit better on their skin tone.
Gotcha.
And it's also 8-free, so that means it doesn't have the same chemicals as the other nail polishes.
Nice.
And it's safe for pregnant women and children.
Beautiful.
So a lot of women have problems finding nail polish to wear while they're pregnant, so you can still stay beautiful and healthy at the same time.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how did you begin this brand? I mean, nail polish, it's a huge, market, but what made you want to get into it?
So growing up, my mom was a single parent, and her way of making herself feel beautiful is painting her nails and doing her makeup. But I realized specifically like the nail polish painting was her way of just relaxing herself. She would drink a cup of tea, have a cup of wine, and just relax. And I think that people forget about the power of the experience within like making yourself feel beautiful. So I was like, wow, I want to be able to create that through my line. I'll have other women feel beautiful while they're using my product. So now, not only are they buying a product, they're also buying an experience and a brand that stands for something other than just, hey, buy my product.
Awesome. I love it. And where did you grow up? Give a shout out to where you're from.
So I grew up in Dorchester.
Yes, Dorchester in the house. Lovely, lovely. And so, I mean, when you began your, making these nail polishes, were you kind of like doing it on your own, or were you working with,
So originally when I started by myself, just through research and finding different vendors I could work with, different manufacturers, finding the best product. And what was important was finding a 8-free nail lacquer, something that was healthy, but also not sacrificing the quality, making sure that it had a 7-day last wear so women could wear it all week to their job. And now it's also my uncle, and I have an intern. Nice. So my uncle is kind of my biggest support system. He helps me set up meetings, meet different people, get clients, and I have an intern. Her name is Samantha.
Awesome. So you have an intern, you have your uncle working with you.
Yep.
Do you want to kind of walk us through the process from, initial idea to the execution of it, and kind of what that looked like for you specifically?
So the initial idea was, wow, I want to start a nail polish line. I want it to be healthy. And then from there was research. So every Saturday and Sunday, I went to the library with my boyfriend because he's in law school. Yeah. So we went to the library together, and I would research everything from how much do you need to start a nail polish line, how do you wear the product when you get it, how to market your brand, do you need a publicist, how to start a website, everything. And I was just like, wow, this is really expensive. I can't afford it. That was my first initial thought. And then I was just like, you know what? Anything that's worth it isn't easy. So I was like, I'm going to continue to work my 9-to-5 job. I also do kind of real estate on the side that helps supplement my brand.
Definitely.
So kind of from there, I just started doing research, and then I got to the point where I ordered the samples, and I had my friends sample it for Christmas. So I kind of gave our goodie bags during Christmas, and they was like, wow, we love it. This is a great product. So then I launched the website, and the website was a complete fail.
Why do you say that?
So I did it on one of those platforms that, wasn't really known. It kind of was just something kind of thrown together, and I realized that if I want to, have a successful brand, I need to put more work into it. It's not as easy as when people like look on TV or look at other people on social media, like, wow, they haven't made, but it's actually a lot of work that goes behind building a brand.
Right. But all you're seeing is like the
But all
product.
you're seeing is the end product,
yeah.
Right? So then I was like, okay, this website is trash. I'm taking it down. All my social media accounts, I restarted them all over. So then I relaunched in May of this year. So I relaunched a new bottle. So the bottles that I have now are different from what I had last year. Okay. I relaunched a new website.
What's the difference between the bottles specifically?
Well, the bottle now has a gold top. So that kind of represents like goddess woman.
Nice.
And it's a square bottle versus the other one was a little smaller and not as luxurious.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So it kind of matches with my brand message now.
Definitely. So a lot more like thought went into kind of like the relaunching.
Exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So where can people find your, nail polish, and, where can we find you?
So you can find me actually, I'm in one small natural nail salon in Hyde Park called Tiffany's Transformations.
Nice.
She carries my nail polish, and also on my website at lesbcosmetics.com.
Awesome. So I think we actually have some of your nail products over here, but I think we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And that way we can get all set up, and then we'll be right back, guys.
Thanks. Okay, good. I am.
Okay. So, yep, second chair. No, no, no. So you'll have these two, Crystal?
Oh, we're gonna go over here. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, this is just gonna. Oh, this is just gonna track with me.
You should move out of the way. Let me move this, and then you can move back. Second, and then, so the next guest, who's going up second?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. I am still here with Miss Sam Walker, who has this lovely nail line. Now, we were just chatting, and you mentioned something that really caught my attention, that it kind of gives you the gel-like, texture and durableness, but without all of the harmfulness of the gel.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And how did you, this looks like such an awesome color. How did you come up with like the different colors that you wanted to use?
So the summer collection is inspired by Paradise, and
Okay.
then the spring collection is inspired by sorry. The spring collection is inspired by Paradise, and the summer collection is inspired by oh my god. All right. They're both they're both kind of inspired by Paradise.
Okay.
So
awesome.
one is more of like a earthy tone, like relaxation mood,
right.
and one is very vibrant, like the beach, and I want to go relax and
right.
take
So
a
this
vacation.
is the earthy one here?
Yes.
Awesome. And then you were saying that you made them specifically also to kind of cater to different skin tones. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So this one is a nude. So this kit is more towards women of a darker skin tone. Because the nudes that are actually in stores right now, they aren't real nudes. They're like kind of light creams.
Yeah,
so I
definitely.
wouldn't consider that to be a nude.
Right.
So we're actually going to be launching a nude line in January, and I'm going to have a variety of shades that represent different women of, color.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're going to be like the Fenty Beauty of nail.
I guess if you want
Yes.
to say that, but not really.
I love it though. These are really awesome. Now tell me about these boxes, because you told me a little secret and I thought it was just about the coolest thing ever. So tell us a little bit about the boxes.
So the boxes are 100% handmade from a woman-owned boutique in Bali, Indonesia. So like I said, my brand is focused on women empowerment. So I wanted to actually get boxes that are 100% recycled, and also from a woman-owned company. So as I was doing research, I came across this brand, this company in Indonesia, and I really love them. They were great to work with, very, very nice, and also their company provides jobs for children in Indonesia.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it helps them basically get jobs so they can go to school, because in other parts of America, you have to pay to go to school. In other parts outside of America, right? Yeah.
Definitely. So for Boston Fashion Week, I hear that you're going to be having your table, but then you're also going to be doing a little bit behind the scenes as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, so I'm going to have a vending table at Boston Fashion Week, and also we're going to be going behind stage with the models.
Nice.
So the models will have their nails painted before they go on stage, before they have their wardrobe and makeup done. So this will create like a real fashion week experience, and I think that's something that Boston needs to get on the map.
Definitely.
Create events and actually push through and make sure that they're fully successful is actually engaging different pieces that they never had before.
Awesome. I love it. And this is your first Boston Fashion Week?
Yeah, this is my first Boston Fashion Week.
How do you feel? How are you feeling?
I'm nervous.
What's making you nervous?
Well, I want everything to go smoothly. I actually have 3 nail techs. I personally don't paint nails, but I'm going to be there to make sure everything's running smoothly. All the models are getting, pampered and feeling comfortable. And yeah, so I'm just a little nervous, but I think everything will go great.
I love it. Are you excited about anything?
I'm excited to see the models work it. So
definitely.
Yeah.
They're just gonna walk like this down the runway the whole time. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us again where we can find you and all of your products.
So you can find me at www.lustvcosmetics.com. My Instagram is lust_v_cosmetics. And all my other social medias are lustvcosmetics as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We are actually going to go and take another break really quick. And then when we come back, we're going to have another one of the awesome vendors who are going to be at Boston Fashion Week. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Like Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. We are still here doing all things Boston Fashion Week today. I have another awesome vendor who's going to be at Boston Fashion Week as well, Miss Vick Breedy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you are a woman of many talents.
Thank you.
You are an author and also the owner of Genetically Resilient, which is a clothing apparel brand.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So tell us, I actually want to hop into your books because your books have really awesome titles.
Thank you.
So she has Bitter, Still Bitter, and then Bitter Family Secrets, right? So tell us a little bit about your books, your trilogy.
Okay, so the Bitter Trilogy is about challenging relationships and challenging friendships. And there's one character that remains bitter throughout the entire series.
I love it.
And the books are not about being bitter. It shows you what happens to you when you're bitter.
Nice, nice. So where did you come up with, I guess, like the storyline? Just like out of your head, or was it based on real life?
No, so it's based on real emotion. I was going through a divorce, and I had a bunch of emotions that I needed to do something with.
Right.
So I tell people, you know, I wrote bitter instead of becoming bitter.
Nice.
So I have 3 characters. There's one character, her name is Ava, and she's my favorite character, and she's the vindictive character. And that was the emotion, you know, the strongest emotion that I was feeling at that time. And so each character is based off an emotion. And then I built from that and exaggerated to make it a good story.
Nice. I love it. Now, is there going to be a 4th book, or are you kind of like done with this trilogy?
I am done with the trilogy, but there will be a 4th book, and it'll be based solely on men.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm working on that currently.
Awesome, awesome. So stay tuned for that awesome book soon to come. Now, I want to hop into a little bit of who you are. I mean, you know, where are you from? You know, what brings you here? All of the above. So, yeah, where are you from?
Okay, I am from Lynn, and I'm also from Malden.
Yes.
I went to UMass Boston, so I claim that also.
Definitely. I love it. I love it.
UMass.
Yes. Listen, shout it out. Absolutely, shout it out. I love it. And so what made you want to get into writing specifically?
I always liked to write. I used to read a lot of books.
Right.
There was a book by Elin Harris that I read when I was a teenager, and it was super duper juicy. And from that point on, I became a reader. And then I started writing poetry.
Nice.
And it wasn't until I was, like I had a whole bunch of emotions that I needed to do something with that I said, I could do this.
Right.
I know that I could do this.
Right.
And so I tested it out. I wrote, you know, a few chapters. I passed it to friends. You know, how's this sound?
Right.
You know, would you read this? Does it sound like something that somebody else would read?
Right.
You know, and then I took it from there. But I had no idea what to do with it once I finished.
Right. So how did you, I mean, kind of walk us through the process of what that looks like? Because I don't know what goes into publishing a book. I know you write it, you get, you know, publisher, and, you know, but kind of walk us through what does that look like?
So I think the traditional route is you get like a book agent, a literary agent, and you get, you know, and you have them, you know, pitch for you for publishers, and then you get a publisher behind you. That wasn't the route that I took. You know, I was just somebody going through a divorce and said, let me write a book.
Right.
So I wrote it and didn't know what to do with it. So I went to Google and I said, you know, how do I get this out here? And it directed me to self-publishing agencies.
Awesome.
So when I first published it, because I've published it twice.
Oh.
When I first published it in 2014, I went through a self-publishing agency, and they create a package for you.
Okay.
And they'll give you marketing material, you know, they'll edit for you, and they'll put it in the, you know, in the places like the Barnes and Nobles online or Amazon or their website also.
Right.
And that's how I did it. The problem with that is the cut in terms of, you know, what you take home versus what they get.
Okay, yeah.
So I learned that late. And once I found a different vehicle where I do it on Amazon now, I get more of a profit that way and I have more control.
Gotcha.
But I don't have a publisher.
Okay.
I do everything myself. I'm an independent author.
Yes.
So anything I do, it has to come from me.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Just like self-made and just running with it.
Trial and error, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what were, some of the bumps in the road that you kind of went through?
I signed on with an internet, if you want to call it, for ebooks. I signed on with a publisher. And I signed on with them because my barrier has been creating awareness. Like, I say, what's a good book if nobody knows about it?
Right.
So I'm trying to find ways to market. Any vehicle that I can use to spread the word about the bitter movement, I do that. But unfortunately, the publisher wasn't a great publisher.
Okay.
I actually got a great following from him, but he ended up taking all of the authors that were signed on with him, all of their revenue, all of the money.
Oh, wow.
And never gave it back. So,
oh, wow. So he just like packed up and ran.
Packed up, and so that was a learning experience.
Yeah.
I probably lost about 9 months worth of whatever I made off of.
Wow. And so how did you bounce back from that?
Bounce back.
Yeah,
bounce back magic.
Had to slide that in there.
I mean, what can you do at that point? All you can do is just start over.
Yeah.
I already had the paperback version myself, so I was still pushing that myself. He was only doing the ebook.
Right.
So it was actually pretty easy. I just took my book back.
Yeah, you're like,
and started it over. And started
reclaimed
it over.
your book.
I did. I did. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. And what do you want? So is your book for women? Is it for everyone? Who's the book for?
That's funny you say that, because I've actually asked a couple of people, like, would you say this is a men's book or a woman's book? And somebody said to me, it's not a men's book, it's not a woman's book, it's a must read.
Yeah.
So.
I love
But
that.
anybody could pick this up and feel like they know the character, or they can identify with, something that's happened to the character.
Right.
It's definitely relatable.
Right. I love that. And what do you want, the reader to get out of each book?
Well, definitely to not be bitter. Because a lot of bad things happen to the main character that remains bitter. But it's more so, I guess that leads me to genetically resilient. It's more so, when you're faced with something that's challenging, I want you to be able to tap into, your bounce back magic, to be resilient.
Yeah.
So that's where I brought into the genetically resilient. For anyone that's gone through something, was able to bounce back. So I went through a divorce, and like I said, instead of becoming bitter, I wrote a book and then created a movement, and then branched off to, doing apparel. And I have a lot of support. You see, there's somebody that's holding the phone there.
Awesome people out here.
Team Bitter, a group of individuals that support my vision.
I love it. And where did you come up with the name Genetically Resilient?
I was just thinking about it. I was thinking of something that would kind of catch, but also spoke to, like, it's in your genes, So I guess it was. It just made sense, you know. I played with words, and but I wanted something that anybody, could put on and be proud to rock it.
I love it. So what type of apparel do you have? What type of clothing?
So this is very new, and I'm testing it out.
We like that.
But I have hoodies, I have V-necks, I have hats, like the hat that I'm wearing.
I like that hat.
I also have it in black, and it has red script in the front that says genetically resilient.
Nice.
But that's about it right now.
That sounds like a brand to me. That sounds pretty complete. I love it.
Right, and I also started off with bitter stuff. So I had like bitter hoodies, bitter t-shirts.
Right. Is that the one you're wearing right now?
I have tank top on.
Yes, bitter tank top.
But it was basically an attempt to get people to say, "Are you bitter? Like, what's that? Why are you wearing bitter?" And it was, an effort to like engage people to ask me about my book, because again, the goal has been to, let people know about my book. When you don't have a big publisher behind you, you don't have that marketing powerhouse, to spread the word. So that's what I do.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And are you doing, anything else with the book and the message behind it? Like, are you going to schools or like talking with people, or is it just kind of like, here's the book?
To. Any opportunity,
Yeah.
that's thrown at me, I usually take it, because it really doesn't matter if if I'm sitting down with you and you happen to talk to me, because I might not talk to you first. If you talk to me, I might mention it and ask you to tell somebody about it, and spread the word. But yeah.
So it's really just kind of spread by word of mouth.
It's word of mouth, and
I
I go crazy on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So
awesome. So everyone can find it. You said on Amazon.
Yes.
And how much is the book?
So this first book, Bitter, it's $16. It's first of 3.
Awesome.
And Still Bitter and Bitter Family Secrets are $20 paperback.
Awesome.
But if you get them on ebook, they're $5 each.
Ooh.
So you can go on ebook and get all 3 for less than the paperback.
Right. I know. I'm more of a give me the book. I like to feel it, smell the pages type deal. Absolutely, I love it. So we actually have some of your clothing here. And I definitely want to show the audience that as well. But we're actually going to take a quick break. We're going to get it set up, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
You know what's funny when you're watching TV? Like, why is that commercial?
Down over here. We got to come over this side.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. I'm your host, Crystal Chandler, and I'm still here with Miss Vick, who is doing some really awesome stuff with this book and genetically resilient. Now, she has a little secret on her back, and we want to show off the jacket. Genetically resilient on the leather jacket. That is
my superhero uniform.
I love it. Now, is this part of the line too, or is this like one of a kind?
No, this is just for me.
That's a one of a kind. Oh, there's no more. There's only one. Awesome. So we have your T-shirt here. We have your 3 books. Tell me a little bit. How did these, come together? Impact one another.
So, my books, as I said, are about challenging relationships and challenging friendships and what happens to you when you're bitter, and it doesn't advocate for you to be bitter.
Right.
And my journey is more of a representation of genetically resilient.
Okay.
I wrote the book as a response to something negative that was happening in my life, and I just tried to, create something positive from, from give a positive response to, something negative that you can't control.
Definitely.
And so we have genetically resilient T-shirts and hats and hoodies. I'll probably have some Scullies when winter hits. But that's for anybody. If you don't read my book or never know that I've written a book, you can still wear my T-shirt, and if you've gone through something, and I don't know anyone that hasn't gone through anything, it should speak to you.
Right. Right. It's whatever your personal, triumph that you overcame.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, wear it
I
proudly.
love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone in this world who hasn't gone through something that, changed them, better or worse, but, regardless, they came through and they pushed through.
That's bounce back magic.
That's bounce back magic. Actually, explain that hashtag, because I absolutely love that when we were chatting before the show. Bounce back magic came up. Tell me about that hashtag.
Being resilient, being able to bounce back.
Awesome. I'll be using that. Black girl magic and bounce back. I love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. We're actually going to chat more with you towards the end of the show.
Okay.
But we will be right back. Again, we have some really awesome guests who are part of the Boston Fashion Week. We're actually going to tell you a little bit about the host, who is actually from the show Power, which is a really, really nice treat. But we will be right back.
Hey.
Again, I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. I am here with this lovely lady, Miss Stacy. Welcome, welcome. Now, I have to tell them how we met, and then we can get into why you're here. So we were at the Red Sox game. Somerville Media Center brought all of the staff to Just kidding. Live TV, y'all.
Sorry about that. What they do is they've imposed this
Oh, I forgot. The PSA. That's why I have to spell them out phonetically. I'm like, the spelling is cute, but I'm gonna just spell it phonetically so I can say it because that's all that really matters. One more time.
Circusoon. I be forgetting my boss's name. He's been my boss for a year. Sorry, I got a lot of things.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Somerville Line. Again, I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. We have such an awesome show going on right now. I'm loving it, loving it. We actually have this beautiful lady here with me, Miss Stacy Circusoon, correct? Yeah. All right. Now, I have to let everyone know how we met because it was actually pretty cool. So Somerville Media Center brought all of its lovely staff, myself included, to the Red Sox video production night. So we got to meet all of the folks who are behind the video production for, was it the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins,
basically every sport.
Yeah, the Patriots, was it the Revolution team as well, the soccer team. So it was really cool, and you know, Stacy and I just kind of were chit-chatting. We vibed off of each other so well. And you're in school, and remind me where you're in school at?
I'm in school at Curry College as a communications major with a concentration in broadcast journalism.
I love it. So we brought her on to put these broadcast skills to the test, and let's see, because you've been doing a little broadcast for a while, right?
Yeah, this summer I interned in Hingham at HCAM, which is now Harbor Media, which was a great experience. I hosted a show called Hingham Happenings, and it just basically gave you the rundown of what was going down in that town.
Awesome. I love it. So we brought Stacy on because she is going to give us a little bit of a rundown of the show Power, and also the lovely lady who's going to be hosting the Boston Fashion Week, who's an actress on Power as well. So I'm out of the loop because I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen Power. I've read my entire timeline. And people have been going nuts. I think I've seen little clips here and there, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna binge watch it one day for sure. Whenever I get a free weekend, I'm just gonna binge watch it. But yeah, tell us a little bit about some of the stuff you found.
Oh, so Power is about a businessman who's a drug kingpin, and he's just has a crazy life going from. But business-wise, selling drugs with all his women that goes in and out. So for Boston Fashion Week, we have Natari she's his wife who plays Tasha. She was actually a former member of 3LW.
Oh, wow.
She had a role in Notorious as Lil' Kim. So she's a really great person to have hosting the kickoff of Boston Fashion Week.
Awesome.
And everybody's so super excited. They're filming the new season of Power right now.
Nice.
So it should be coming soon.
Okay, guys, I promise I'll catch up on Power because I'm getting some side eyes up here by these ladies.
You're not the only one. I haven't seen it either.
Right, okay, thank you. I don't feel so bad. There are other people out there.
It's a show that you can tune in and kind of catch up on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I like to binge watch shows, you know, like I don't like to wait like a whole week to see I think that's what it is. Like my soul knew it needed to wait until I had enough episodes to watch. That's how it works. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to have Stacey stay up here because she is actually wearing some of the clothing of my next guest, Miss Marie France M. Noel. I love that. I absolutely love that. Full name. Thank you so much for coming on. And you, again, another vendor who's going to be at Boston Fashion Week. And you do clothing and handcrafted jewelry. And so tell us a little bit about your brand and what it is.
Well, thank you very much for having me here.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be here and among all the other vendors that's going to be participating. So my name is Marie-France M. Noel, and I am the founder and the creative director. So all the handcrafted jewelry are made by me.
Nice.
And so some of the materials that I use are wooden disc, which is one of the pieces that she's wearing next to me.
Nice.
And
So nice.
everything is light, and you can wear them all day. You go from the day to night without even sacrificing
Right.
any of your precious spare time, really.
Right.
And I've also used wires, and the thing
I was gonna
that
ask.
I'm wearing is made out of wires,
I love
and I
that.
have different wire colors that from different collections, and I also hand paint on muscle shells,
Wow.
which we'll see later when we go to the table,
Yeah.
to the display where you could see some of those handcrafted jewelry. So the other portion of the business is the clothing section, also with some of the unique apparels, which is really inspired by my uncle, and his nickname was Kele. So part of the business is carrying his legacy.
Right.
So Kado Kele, Kado means gift, and Kele was his nickname. He's no longer with us, so he passed away. So he was a painter.
I love it. So you're keeping his spirit alive.
I'm keeping his spirit alive. So his original paintings are used in some of my designs, and this dress is actually the leaf with the lizard on the side is part of his original painting that's on the dress.
I love that. Wow. That is really amazing. And where are you all from? Remind me?
Born and raised in Haiti.
I love it.
So the
yes.
brand is really a stimulation of Caribbean art.
Yeah, I love it. What kind of inspired you to begin, doing, the jewelry and the clothing specifically? It was like you could do anything in the world, but you chose clothing and jewelry.
I think I'm really drawn by colors. I think, people ask me a lot, what's your creative process?
Right.
And it starts with colors. And I think a lot about how to put, colors that people would not even think about and start putting them together.
Yeah.
And I think because colors bring you joy, so I want to surround myself with things that brings you joy. So I think my brand and everything that I do my design is really to bring people joy, and even the slogan, which is live artfully, and what that really means is to inspire people to live your best life, to really live a life purposely, and to spread kindness, and to live authentically, and to inspire others and give back. I hope that by wearing either one of the jewelry or one piece of clothing, that you really get inspired and feel all that spirit and embody it while you wear it.
I love that. I mean, I think all of you, have really awesome messages behind, each of your respective brands. I absolutely love it. Tell me a little bit about, so did you start the line in Haiti and brought it over here? Kind of like walk me through that.
I started here, but that started exactly after I visited Haiti in 2010. It was July in 2010. It was the same year of the earthquake that happened in January. And I think, while it was definitely a devastating time, but I think being back home after 12 years of being here at that point, you home. There's nothing like home.
Right, definitely.
And, being surrounded by art and, going back to where I lived and grew up. And, coming back, and I was really, really inspired by that. And I wanted to create something, long and lasting. And I've created partnerships and long-lasting relationship with some local artisans where not only everything is handcrafted and, finished touches here, but also I draw a lot of some of the pieces that I want to have made there, some of the horn that I use in my handcrafted jewelry.
Nice.
Also the coconut shells and other materials, they're handcrafted there, but assembled and finished here.
Wow.
And that's part of the, lasting, creating relationship and making partnerships and giving back.
Yeah.
And you can do that to art. There's so many means to inspire somebody.
Absolutely.
And, create longevity. And I think that's also an important message.
I love it. Now, is it just, who's on the committee, right? So is it just you? Do you have
Right now,
the
it's
staff?
just me.
It's just you.
Right now, it's just me. But moving forward, I definitely, hope and yearn for definitely creating a team of, a network and a team of other women and other individuals that embodies the message and definitely want to spread it.
Definitely.
And really solidify the brand.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk to Stan because you're the one, you have the intern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you guys can chat. Get yourself an intern.
You can teach me a few things.
I love it. So tell me, so when you're creating, the earrings and, the jewelry, especially, like, is this copper or what material is that on your earrings?
This is copper.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And then so, what brings inspiration when you go to create something like this? Or is it their design or is it just like, what am I feeling right now?
Well, so each collection actually, there's a whole meaning behind them.
Oh, I love that.
So this pair of earrings is actually the Kashima collection. So Kashima is actually, I think the fruit name in English is shioma, and what it is, there's the jelly and then there's the seed. So when you bite into the jelly, it's actually the seeds separate from the jelly in your mouth. So I think the spread of the paint is meant to mimic that. So you see that the paint sort of spread. So that means, that separation that happens once you bite into the fruit. So that's the inspiration.
I think I'm a little bit at a loss for words because that was like the most magical thing I've ever heard.
It's one of my favorite foods growing up. So that's where that comes from. And then this piece over here is part of the Mon collection, and Mon is mountain.
Okay.
And Haiti is a very mountainous country.
Yeah, definitely.
And so there's some flat ones, and then there's also peak, depends on when you drive in, where you're coming from and which side.
Right.
So these wires are very flexible, and I'll show you. So if you poke it, it can also rise up.
Oh, wow.
So it's very versatile.
Right.
So that's why it's called Mon. So it can rise up and come back down.
It's like a 3-in-1 type earring.
So even when you buy one piece, you can do so many other things with it. Wow. So that's the Mon collection.
Wow, I'm like truly inspired. That is so amazing.
Thank you very much.
I love it. And how do you feel, Stacey, in the clothing?
I
and
love
the earrings?
It's super light. I don't feel like my ears dragging down.
Yeah, I know, especially for something so big and round. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's not heavy at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's such a good, it's like a relief almost.
Yeah, and this like material is really lightweight.
Super
too.
comfortable.
Yeah, it's like perfect
Feels
for
good.
summer.
It's like a feel-good dress.
Yes.
And then even for the winter, as we slowly transition to fall, you can wear a turtleneck underneath it, and then pair with a velvet jacket.
Oh, velvet, yes, of course.
Of course.
If you don't have a velvet jacket in your collection.
Meets Vicky over here with the
Yeah.
nice boots.
Yeah.
You can put that underneath this dress. Guess what? You're ready for fall.
Right, so get yourself a velvet jacket and some leather boots and a turtleneck and baboon.
And you rock it.
And baboon, here we are. I love that. We are getting fashion tips. That's perfect because it is Boston Fashion Week, so we're getting some fashion tips so you know how to style your dress. I love that. I've actually never thought to put a turtleneck underneath, these types of dresses.
Exactly. You can always take your summer pieces and take them into fall and transition
Transform
into
them.
winter,
Yeah.
and you wear a heavier coat. when it's colder out.
That's
You're good
it.
to
Throw
go.
some long johns underneath, keep your legs warm, and we are good to go.
Nobody's gonna know what's underneath.
No, they don't gotta know. Long johns, tights, the whole nine, because it gets cold here in Boston, and we have to stay warm.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I love this. Thank you so much, Marie. We're actually going to take another quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to talk to all of these lovely ladies and, discuss a little bit more about Boston Fashion Week. And as we take a break, just keep in mind all of the videos that we're showing during the break are from the evolution of hip-hop. So these are going to be a lot of the artists that you're going to see at the Evolution of Hip-Hop event, which, again, is October 1st. It is a week from Sunday. The clock is ticking down, 2:30 to 6:30, right outside the studio in Union Square in Somerville. So you definitely want to be there. But for now, we'll be right back. Ooh, my mouth is getting dry. We have so much time. I mean, I can go off the top of the dome, but it ain't dangerous.
You should ask if there's any upcoming collections. I have an upcoming collection. Okay. I'm sure you have some kind of upcoming projects.
Facebook Live.
Yeah. That's about upcoming.
Tomorrow.
Right. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Tomorrow. There you go. There's a plug.
Selfish Wednesday.
Yeah, talk about upcoming projects or something, because I'm sure we all have something.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch your baby.
We're together, hands in hand right here. So cute. The ladies on the panel. You guys are doing wonderfully.
You look real nice.
Color on the dress.
I love those earrings.
That's funny. I just don't know how, when, what I wear, and what capacity. I haven't gotten that far in my life yet. I need to make it to tomorrow because I'm going to New York in the morning. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yeah. And I have to be back here. I think at 12 on Sunday. I should have just come back tomorrow night, but I was like, no, let me go see my friend. I have to come back and do some more filming on Sunday. So it's gonna be. I don't know why. I know.
Okay, so are you going to model the dress or no? I didn't know if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe because we need to take you to the
Oh,
stage.
you're
right?
extra right.
Yes. Okay, and then we can do that. I can walk with you with the cord. And then when we come back, we can talk politics, relationships.
Oh, boy. We could do a PG version. Find something that's PG. Very little that's PG.
Well,
Everything is.
Yeah.
Do not talk about Trump.
Oh, no, there's no Trump in my book.
I'm unfamiliar.
Not in my books.
Lord,
All of my books are 18 plus. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not true, because when I was 16, I was reading those, remember those books?
Like Sister Soldier.
Yeah,
I
Coldest
got in
Winter
trouble for
Ever.
reading. Do you remember Push?
Yeah.
I got in so
There,
much trouble.
they made a movie off of, what is the new movie that everyone's talking about that it was a book? Oh, it was one of those, like, oh my God, now it's going to kill me. It was a book, like, kind of like Push, kind of like one of those books.
That's hers?
So,
Oh, so we're moving?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
those black
Y'all stay
creation
tight.
books? It was always about, like, some drama or something.
You just talking about urban books? Like
Yeah,
Iceberg
urban books.
Slim books
Yeah,
and stuff
that
like that?
I was 9 when I read The Color Purple.
Oh.
And that scared the mess out of me.
They made a new movie off of it. I'm gonna Google it for you so I can show you.
What movie? What book?
It was one of those books.
Oh, yeah,
And now there's a movie that came out.
Yeah,
It's like on
Is it
Netflix.
recent?
Yeah. It's a recent movie, but
video.
old book.
Okay.
Is it almost over?
Oh, I don't have my phone.
But once you see it,
Yes.
everyone, if you, as long as you like reading, you read that book.
Me?
I know. Like, what you reading, Mom? 60 years old reading them crazy books.
Straight bro.
Are you guys ready? Crystal, you guys ready? Yes. Yeah, they're ready. Keep quiet. We're gonna turn on the lights.
Welcome back to the Somerville Line, everyone. We are back and here with Miss Marie, who has a lovely clothing and jewelry line. And we actually want to see some more of the pieces that she has here. So do you want to kind of like walk us through what we have here and tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So earlier I talked about that I hand paint on muscle shells.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the pair of earrings that I bought with me.
Ooh,
and what I love
that.
about the muscle shells, they're not identical. You would never be able to, you really get in one unique pair.
Yeah.
And this one is called sorbet. It can really look like dripping ice cream.
Yeah, it looks delicious.
And so the wire piece that I talked about earlier is also carried out to that collection.
Nice.
And it's, you know, just a drop dangle earrings.
Wow, I
And
love
they're
that.
super light again.
Let's show the viewers at home. This is so nice. I love it, love it, love it. So what type of, I guess, paint do you use for this? And
It's all water color paint.
this is watercolor. Lies you tell. I don't believe.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I thought it was like acrylic or something. It's like so smooth and really rich.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know you could get like such rich colors out of watercolors.
And what I do after, I seal it with this spray paint. That's a clear finish gloss that gives you that seal shiny that you see in the end.
Awesome. And where do you find the shells? Are you just kind of like walking along the beach?
I collect a lot of shells.
Nice.
I collect them along the beach, but when I have to do a lot of production and I had to make 100 gift bags once, and I had to like wholesale those. But other than that, I always have shells.
You just kind of mosey on and find some shells. I love it. Cool.
And another pair that I bought is the Kashima collection that I talked to you about earlier. So that's another pair, and you can see that the paint sort of, you know, separates from the main point. And again, what it's meant to mimic the seeds and the jelly as you bite into the fruit.
Wow, this is really, these are like, again, so like lightweight. I don't know if you guys can see that. I love that they're just not identical. They look similar, but they're not identical.
No.
And that's totally cool.
Exactly. And you
I
can
love
wear
it.
them in or out. So you could flip it around.
Okay. We have versatile
Yeah,
jewelry.
I love
it.
that.
You guys have no idea how light this is. Like it weighs nothing, literally nothing.
And lastly, what I bought here is one of our shirts that we had over the summer that you could wear. And what you're looking at is actually, we call a femme vaillant. And what that means in English is strong woman.
Wow.
And these are the women that actually carries loads of, you know, here that you're looking at is basket on their heads. And that's just they in and out to feed their kids and their whole family, send the kids to school and feed the family, and that's actually how they care and support their family. So I wanted to pay homage to them and put that on the shirt.
I love that. There's so much going on, like
and
in
you
this
can see
one graphic.
You can see a son actually walking with him.
And you have, is that like a little like goat sheep?
Yeah, there's a little goat here.
Yeah, there's just like so many details with the leaves and even up here with the basket.
Exactly. And again, to carry this for the fall, you can have a button shirt.
Listen, give us all the tips.
You can have a button shirt underneath this. You can have a if you want an all black look, you
Yeah.
can have a black shirt, or you can have a white shirt, or you can have a black and white polka dot shirt. It could be all funky and all that underneath that, and you can tuck it in or half tuck, whatever
Right.
you want, and then have skinny jeans. And
Okay.
you're good to go.
And what about the shoes?
You can wear rock, whatever you want. You can have leopard print shoes. And
Yes.
be funky with it. You can do whatever you
Yes.
want.
So we're gonna be funky this winter, and we are going to pair all of those together. I promise. I'm gonna take pictures and put them on my Instagram. That's really awesome. I really love that graphic for sure. And where can people find you?
So I am on social media, and also we have a website.
Mhm.
So we are on Instagram at kadokele.com, KADOKELE.
Yeah.
And on the website is www.kadokele.com.
Awesome.
Also on Facebook, there's a fan page. It's the same name. It's KADOKELE.
Well, I'm a fan of this. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much, Miss Marie, for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
Absolutely
having
love
me.
it. Yes, and she is not going anywhere. She's going to join our other two lovely ladies who are still over there on our stage, and we're gonna actually chit chat and get into who these ladies are, and yeah, we're gonna have some cool conversation.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so we'll be right back, everyone. Again, thank you, Miss Stacy, for being the model of this lovely, lovely dress. I don't know if you want to do a twirl for us real quick. Little twirl, little twirl, little twirl. I love it. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back, you guys.
Thank you.
The book that says Better Family Secrets for me. Find something PG.
Very
Yeah,
difficult.
Something that has no
Juicy,
swears, no
yeah.
nothing. Like
Read something juicy like a catchy letter.
Yeah. What do you recommend, Musu, from Bitter Family Secrets?
Oh my gosh. Oh, do you have to give an excerpt?
I'll just do a little, something little. I was thinking about, remember when Eve told about like how she was, like stealing, for food, and Mr. Uncle. You remember that? No?
Yes, no, I do.
I know you remember Joan.
I do. No,
I don't, they're not ready for Joan.
But no, my favorite part was secrets. No, my favorite part involved Greg, like following the story around Greg.
Oh, really?
And gosh, was it no, Eve? Wait, what was
Yep, Eve.
Greg and Eve?
Mm-hmm.
That was for me. That was for me that was my favorite part. My favorite storyline to follow.
Those must be the clubhouse crackers with the butter.
Yeah, they are.
See, that's why it's that cracker. Those crackers are good. He's all smiles. Look at him.
Thank you.
Can I get a countdown?
Which camera are you going back to? 5.
Which camera? Welcome everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Somerville Line. Your host Crystal Chandler. I'm still here with these 3 awesome, lovely ladies who are going to be showing off their brands at Boston Fashion Week, which is coming up. We have a little treat, I think, maybe from Miss Vick.
Sure, not quite this second, but yes.
All right, so we'll come back. We'll come back to you. Since it is Boston Fashion Week, I would like to know a little bit about each of your outfits. So I don't know if Marie, if you want to start.
I haven't put that together yet.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that doesn't really think about outfits. I kind of put it like last minute.
Yeah.
So I don't put too much effort into it, but at the same time, and again, it starts with color. and then, you know, the accessory is definitely the icing on the cake.
I love it. So tell me about what you're wearing tonight, too.
So a pair of gray jeans. Green is my favorite color.
Okay.
So hence the
I know these
loafers.
shoes are really nice. I don't know if we can get a little close up on that, but those shoes are just stunning.
Thank you very much. And then I love a blazer.
Yeah.
And I love a skinny belt, and I like to accentuate my waist with just tying it in, and I think that's just a nice touch to put it together.
Definitely.
And then, you know, you have to represent your brand.
Of course.
If not you, how are you going to have somebody else represent it?
Absolutely.
So,
and is that kind of like giraffe pattern on the belt, or I don't know what that is?
It's a leopard print.
Leopard. Pardon me. I'm mixing up my animals.
It's okay.
Absolutely. I love that. This is really nice. Again, these shoes are stunning. Where'd you get the shoes from?
I bought them at Nordstrom Rack.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I do like Nordstrom Rack. They do have some good deals.
Yeah, they do.
I love it. And what about the bracelet?
So the bracelet, I had them custom made. And if you can, I don't know if you can see it closer, it's actually my slogan on it. And it's one of the upcoming projects.
So
For
you're gonna
spring.
have some bracelets coming
Yes,
to us soon?
it's actually, I'm working with a designer in Brooklyn. She makes jewelry, and she's actually a singer. And she makes jewelry, and I don't want to give too much out yet.
Yeah.
Little
secret.
Yeah, but she made these for me, and I'm going to reach out back to her to actually make more that will be available on my site. So it says live artfully. And I'm working on slogan shirts that will go along with the bracelet.
I love that. And did you make the ring as well?
Yes, the ring is made by me.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Just head to toe, just wearing your own brand. I love it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely love it. I'm going to hop down to Sam on the end there. Same for you. So do you have an outfit for Boston Fashion Week yet?
So, well, for the first half, since I'm going behind stage with the models, I have my T-shirts with my logo. And then for the second half, I'm thinking of something, I kind of like colors. Like you said, green is actually one of my favorite colors, too.
Yay, Team Green.
That's one of my 5 favorite colors.
I love green. So it's funny that she said that. I kind of really don't think about my outfits either. I kind of just see what I have in the closet. What is funky? Like, what's fun? And I try not to go with what everyone else wears, because that's not really my style.
Yeah.
Some people be like, you don't match. Well, it's not for you. It's really for me.
Power clash. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're power clash.
It's for me. It's for me to feel good. So I'm thinking about like a sweetheart top dress.
Okay.
Some nice earrings. I think I might wear some of her earrings.
Yeah.
I
love the support.
And like a nice
Thank
pointy
you.
toe shoe. So that's what I'm thinking. So we'll
I
see.
absolutely love it. And then tell us a little bit about the outfit you have on today.
So this was the same thing. I woke up and I looked in the closet, and I was like, oh, I want to really wear something nice. And I was like, I wish I could buy an outfit, but as an entrepreneur, I don't have money falling off the trees yet.
Yeah,
So,
yet, keyword,
yes,
yes.
keyword, right?
It is coming.
So I had to pick whatever was in my closet, but I was like, I want to wear something fun and funky. And I was like, what about a dress with like these booties? Like that would be different and fun.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is what I'm wearing today.
These are cute. And then the necklace too.
Yeah, the necklace too. This is actually from H&M. I got it a few years ago. So I think this is from H&M too. And then this is from DSW.
Awesome. We have all the brands here. And then you, Miss Vick?
Yes, I don't know where all of my clothing came from. Well, I can tell you that the hat came from Vick Breedy, genetically resilient.
Yeah.
T-shirt or the tank top, bitter.
Yep.
Vick Breedy. The jacket, I got at a department store, and I had it embroidered with my brand, and I'm being told to get up and stand up.
Yep, one more time. Just
And
give
I'm
us a
gonna
little,
do that slowly.
little twirl. A little slow twirl.
To show the genetically resilient.
Awesome, awesome.
Boots, I have no idea.
These are
But
very
they're
cute,
fabulous.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
they
you.
are. I don't think I've ever seen a boot that color. You don't see that color too often.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, you see like a brown or a black, but
And did you see the gold details on
Yeah.
the back in the heel?
oh,
Those are really cute.
Oh, excuse me, pardon me. Pardon me. I mean, red bottoms are out and gold heels are in. I love it. Now, for Boston Fashion Week, do you have an outfit in mind, or are you just gonna go?
I'm going to wear something genetically resilient.
Okay.
And I actually just had a hat made.
Nice.
I had my grandfather passed away, and he had a fedora, and it was dirty. It was white, but it had stains on it. And I brought it to the cleaners, and they couldn't do anything with it. And I still wanted something, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't just want to put it somewhere and look at it.
Yeah.
So I reached out to a vendor that I vended with at the Black Market in Dudley. Her name is, well, you can find her at Mahogany Expressions on
Okay.
IG.
Beautiful.
And she took my hat and repurposed it. And now it went from white to like an army fatigue
Oh, wow.
look. And then it has my brand on it. So I'll be wearing that.
Oh, nice.
And you can go on my page and you can see that because I posted it already. Super excited.
That's amazing. I love the tributes that we have here. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Awesome, awesome. And what about your jewelry? What are we working with here?
Watch, Movado watch, Pandora bracelet. I have a smorgasbord of stuff on.
I love it. I love it. Just piece it all together. That's
Yeah.
how my closet works too.
Definitely.
Awesome. So do we have a little?
So I was going to look for a part to read to you, but you know, some of it I can't read, you know, without giving you everything. So
Gotcha.
I'm thinking I'm going to read the back.
Yeah, let's
You
do
know,
it.
and I'm not sure if I should do the last book because that's my most recent book, or if I tell you about the first book. It's up to you.
It's up to you actually. What do you
All right, well,
want us to know?
Let's start with the latest book, Bitter Family Secrets.
Okay.
It's the third book of the trilogy,
Mhm.
and I'm going to read the synopsis to you.
All right.
All right. Let me know if I'm loud and clear.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Bitter Family Secrets is the third and final book of the Bitter series. If you've read Bitter and Still Bitter, this book will reveal some of the family secrets that the characters hid. If Bitter Family Secrets is the first book that you've read by myself, Vick Breedy, you'll become addicted to the characters, and you'll be forced to read the other two books included in this trilogy. So, Kama's addiction is out of control. The single life allows her to explore her sexual bucket list. Will Kama catch up with her before she gets the chance to empty it? Eve has committed a crime. She flees Boston and heads to Charlotte. There, she plans to lay low and track down who she thought was her mother. What will unfold at this unexpected reunion? BJ is in love with Kama. She will do anything for her. Kama knows this and uses it to her advantage. Will BJ figure out that she's the only one in love, or will she keep allowing herself to be used? Joan could be a supermodel. Everything about her screams, I am woman. But she's very insecure. The problem is that Jonathan, he's determined to crush her self-esteem. He taunts her and stalks her to the point of depression. Will she do what it takes to get rid of him? Craig is determined to find out who killed his fiancée. Once he finds the killer, he devises an intricate plan to make sure that the person suffers on a deep level. He needs the help of a family member to do it. When the deed is done, Craig finds out just how loyal family truly is. And lastly, Claudia is in her 70s, but she doesn't feel like it. An illness forces her to come to grips with the next phase of her life. She needs to get some things off her chest while she still has time. There's one secret that she's carried with her for 50 years. This secret will change everyone's lives, and that's Bitter Family Secrets.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's
So go get it.
literally just wow, 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 wow. How many different storylines did we just run through?
All the characters, I pulled them all
Yeah,
through.
you went to like the third one. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds. And then you kept
Right.
going. I was
Yep.
like, wait, I need to keep count. How many characters was that?
So we have Kama, Eve, BJ,
Yep.
Joan, Craig, and Claudia. And some of those characters are pulled from, book 1, book 2, and
Right.
book 3. And
So you
there
have
have
to
been new
read all the other
characters.
books before you buy this.
But each book reads well independently. So if you were in a bookstore and you didn't know that I've written 2 other books, you could pick this book up and get a great story out of it.
But in order to get the best story,
Right.
you got to do
To
all
get the
three,
best
right?
experience, you should pick up Bitter and then Still Bitter and then read Bitter Family Secrets.
I love it. Absolutely love it. That's great. That's great. I don't know how you ladies felt about that, but
That was good. That was juicy.
I think it should be a movie.
Yes, that's
I
my
also-
goal.
I don't think I realized that it's based in Boston.
Yes, it
that
is.
the books were. I
It
don't think we
is.
had talked about that, but that's amazing.
That's
I
so
love
funny
that.
you said that.
It's a
'cause
nice
I want
plot.
A movie. If
Yeah.
anyone knows anyone.
HBO, Netflix, Hulu,
Stars.
Lisa Ray, call me up, hit me up.
Ava,
Oprah.
Oprah.
Tyler.
Listen, all of them.
Ava.
Yes. We're calling y'all. We're calling. I
Bitter.
love that. Yeah, I absolutely would love to see that turn into a movie. I think just like the synopsis on the back alone, I'm hooked. I'm like, this sounds real juicy, like
Yeah.
you said, Sam. And I'm ready to read that.
All right.
Awesome. So I actually want to get into, we have about like 20 minutes left here. So I want to get a little bit into self-care because that's kind of like my go-to. I love some self-care. So do you ladies have any self-care that you practice every week or every day, anything like that?
I think self-care means so many different things to different people.
Absolutely.
But for me, I think having a good routine that makes you feel good. And part of that is nurturing from inside out. I work out regularly, and I at least 4 to 5 times a week. And besides that, I'm a dancer. So that helps.
What type of dance do you do?
So I dance Haitian folklore.
Yes.
And I've been dancing since back home. And I've been in this country for about almost 20 years. And it was nice to come here and find a way to continue that legacy.
Yeah.
So I dance in Cambridge at the dance complex. I've been going there for about 13, 14 years, I think.
Okay.
So Saturday I may be there.
Yeah.
So that's where you could find me. So I dance with Jean Apollon. So I'll put a plug in for my dear friend.
Yes.
So his classes from 1:30 to 3 every Saturday. So that's where I dance.
And that's at the dance complex.
That's at the dance complex. And definitely being an artist is also self-care. I really have a lot of joy creating and making those beautiful jewelry and also designing for every collection and, thinking about how do I want the woman to feel who's going to wear, my design. And last and not least, I enjoy cooking.
You know what? I enjoy eating. What do you like to cook?
I enjoy cooking. So I find cooking therapeutic.
Yeah.
And people find that crazy, but it kind of calms me down. So what do I love to cook? So one of the things I love to make is shik thai.
Okay.
So what shik thai is, it's a Haitian version of bruschetta.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there are 3 versions. And there's one they make out of smoked herring. And then there's another one they make out of salted cod. And then third, there's one they make out of ham.
Okay.
I don't like the ham one so much. My favorite one is salted cod.
Okay.
But the herring is just as delicious. So you sort of drain it a little bit because it's salty. So you have to drain the salt out. That's how they preserve it.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you saute it with olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, with shallots and a little salt and pepper, and scallion. We use a lot of scallion in Haitian cooking, and there's a lot of chili peppers in it, and then you find a nice baguette. You could grill that or bake it, make it really crisp, and add your salted cod on it, and you serve that with your friends, and add a little bit of parsley, a glass of wine, you're good to go.
I love it. So I love when you speak, because you literally give a whole synopsis from the outfit. I mean, she dressed us, now she's feeding us. I mean, she is thorough.
The whole 9 yards, right?
Very thorough. I love it. So maybe we might have to have you back on to, show us some of your cooking, maybe.
I would love to.
All right, we'll discuss that after the show. What about you, Vic? What do you do for self-care?
I think I just press pause.
Yeah.
Usually I realize that I need it when, I'm getting more tired and or I'm getting sick.
Yes.
So, which is great, because tomorrow I'm actually hosting Selfish Women's Day.
Yes, tell us all about that.
And it's all about self-care. So I'll have facilitators there, licensed therapists. They're doing sessions on taking care of yourself, making yourself a priority.
Right.
Lightening the load before it gets too heavy.
Right.
So that will be held tomorrow from 2 to 6 for women, and it's free. And it's going to be located at CMCC, which stands for Community Cultural Minority Center, and it's located at 298 Union Street in Lynn. So if you can come out, it's a free event. I think it would be beneficial to anybody. I feel like everybody has a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And life doesn't stop. It just becomes, you just get more and more and more, and you got to figure out a way to balance that.
Definitely.
So Selfish Women's Day is about self-care. So it was ironic that you asked about self-care.
That's ever so perfect. Yeah, so, I mean, if you all are, out there, you need something to do tomorrow.
Right.
Selfish, I love that. Just
Selfish Women's
It's
Day.
my day to be selfish.
Yeah.
And just
Take
care
care
about
of
me.
you.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, too, because you also have to, not just for one day, but implement that into,
Yes.
your daily
routine.
and your weekly routine as well.
Even if it's just half hour, you're fine to just
Yeah.
decompress and
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
What about you, Miss Sam? What are you doing for self-care?
So I actually suck at self-care right now.
Oh.
I did have a good routine of going to the gym, and that kind of helped me kind of relax. But now, with work and with lust and everything going on, I feel like I have no time for self-care, which is really bad. I'm just run down. So after today, I told myself starting Monday, I'm gonna go back, going to the gym, relaxing, taking time out to do things that I need to do. But sometimes I think as a young person, I get so consumed and overwhelmed, I can do all this stuff. I'm superwoman, I'm only 26 years old, I can just take on the world. But then I need stop and take a second and be okay, I'm still young, I still need to have fun, I still need to relax. I still have a whole long life to live. So I can do other stuff later. So yeah, I'm really bad at self-care. So trying to improve starting Monday.
I think it's a work in progress, though. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone ever achieves the ultimate self-care. Here I am, I'm enlightened, I have it down, I'm perfect. I think that's the thing about self-care.
And
you
it
know?
changes over time too.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it shifts, and you have to readjust it, and it's okay. It could be a routine that you follow for X amount of time, and then you realize you become better at something else, or you find something else, you learn something else, and then you adapt to something different, and you get better at it.
Because you're like constantly changing and growing, and you know what you need at one age may not be what you need at the other age.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. You all are really amazing. I don't know if you guys can tell, but they're really radiating up here. She's like radiant, radiant. I love it. Just glowing.
Including yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. So every show, you know, I love to ask my guests, you know, because we're all about empowerment here at the Somerville Line. You know, what advice you would give to, you know, junior you or someone who, you know, young people are coming up who, you know, want to make jewelry, who want to write, you know, who want to have their own, you know, like nail polish line. You know, what do you say to them? Because I think it's all about giving back. I think you had mentioned that, Marie, and, you know, that's kind of like our way of giving back every week is, you know, giving, you know, the youth a little tidbit, a little tip, you know, from what they see on our show. Because I think what's also really awesome about our show is that we show a plethora of different people and a plethora of different, you know, avenues and channels that you can go in life. So, yeah, I don't know if you want to start, Sam. Let's work our way this way.
Well, one thing I would say to anyone interested in starting their own brand is you have to be yourself. You have to really own up to who you are, who am I, why do I sincerely want to do this, not I just want to own my own business because it's cool. Like, no, why is it so personal to you? Like, you have to kind of tell your truth through your brand. Right. So, and it's going to be trials and triumphs, and it's not easy, not by far. Like, there's nothing about this process that's easy, nothing. It's obviously it's fun and it's fantastic, but it's not easy, and you kind of have to like guide yourself and have patience. I think patience is key. You have to have patience, perseverance, and be true to yourself. And make your brand it doesn't have to be all about you, but whatever you want your brand to represent, represent your brand based on who you are. So I have an example. One thing I was thinking about for my next collection was like, what am I gonna like name my collections after? Like, how am I gonna do this? What am I gonna focus on? And I was like, I want the collection to kind of just be free. But one thing I wanted to touch on was like Black Girl Magic. Yes. But I was nervous because I have other consumers that aren't Black. Right. So how would they feel painting their nails with a polish that said Black Girl Magic? But then I had to step back and say, well, I'm the CEO, I'm the owner, I'm the co-founder, I fund my own brand. So if this is what I want to put out there, obviously I can explain, this is what this means. It doesn't mean that it's only for a Black girl. Right. This is just honoring the Black woman and the Black person that I am. So I'm just saying this color represents Black Girl Magic. So it's a glitter color, it's a multi-glitter color. So it basically shows it's basically a reflection of all the different shades that, women of color are. And it's just something to empower me, and it's something to empower others. But I didn't want it to deflect and make people feel offended. Right. So that was kind of one of the things I was struggling with. And I was like, you know what, this is my brand. Like, this is why I'm the CEO. This is why I own my own company, because I can make the rules. And then you can just explain. So if I wasn't true to myself, I feel like I would have missed out on that and not had that. And I would have been like, I should have did it. I should have, could have, would have, right? Yeah. So that's just something you kind of have to come in turn and just own who you are, even though it's sometimes hard because you feel like, as a younger person, you might think other people are kind of like, not better, but you're like, oh, she has this going on or they have this going on. So you kind of just have to take a step back and say, well, I'm great too. And this
know yourself.
Yeah,
right?
and
just like know who you are and keep yourself grounded.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Ms. Vick.
Thanks.
So thorough. I love that. Vick used to say ditto. Yep.
What would I say? I'd say I'd say to anyone, not even somebody just wanting to write. What inspired me was something negative, you know. So I think the message that I would put out there is to, you know, I guess it goes back to bounce back magic. Create a positive response to something, you know, that's happened that's negative or challenging, you know, in your life. So that's what writing was. That's what, you know, writing bitter was. It was me writing instead of, you know, taking a brick and throwing it through somebody's window.
Right.
But yeah, I would say that. But I guess it's like turning lemons into lemonade. You know, that whole thing. And I'd like people to know that it isn't easy, like she said, and you have to invest in yourself, and you do have to be doing it for the right reasons. Like, I just wanted to tell the story. You know, once I found out the story was good, I was like, oh, well, maybe it could generate some income also. So let's look at it like that.
Why not?
Right.
You know, so that led me to write book 2 and book 3, and, you know, putting out apparel and, you know, stuff like that. So it's definitely not easy. I'm also an independent author. So, you know, I fund myself. And you just have to believe in yourself, you know, and not need it to come from somewhere else, you know, and, you know, believe in the unbelievable, I guess, you know. But yeah, that's the advice that I would give. Turn something that negatively affected you into something that you grew from, you know, and let that be, you know, your reward.
I love that. I absolutely love that. We have about 2 minutes left, and the floor is yours, Miss Marie.
I think I would focus on purpose. I think you have to find a purpose in the messaging, because I think that's important. It's not just, you know, I think all of us touch on that. It's not just having a brand and just think about the outcome and then focusing on that. But I think what sells it and then what empowers it or what expands it and grows the brand is the message. And how you do that, it's really, it takes time to perfect that. It took me time to decide on what the slogan would be. I had a few slogans that didn't make sense to me. And once it doesn't make sense to you, how would it make sense to everybody else? And how do you explain it? And you will know when it does, because once you explain it to others, you do it with such fluidity that it makes sense, and you believe in it, and people hear your heart and passion in it. And it just makes sense. And I think that's what has to be at the core of your brand, is the purpose.
This is so great. Absolutely love it. We have about, again, 2 minutes left here. But really quickly, where can people find you? Where can people find you? Where can people find you?
You can find me at www.lustbcosmetics.com, and all social media is Lust B Cosmetics or Lust Cosmetics.
Awesome. Vick.
Okay, you can find me at vickbreedy.com. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Vick Breedy. You can find me at Frugal Bookstore in Roxbury. You can find me, did I say Amazon?
And on Amazon.
You can find me on Amazon.com, and, you know, if you Google Vick Breedy or Bitter by Vick Breedy or something, you know, Still Bitter, it'll give you other vehicles to purchase my books.
Definitely. I know we're running down on time here, but, you know, if you guys are still tuned in, we're still live on YouTube as well, and I definitely want to get Miss Marie, you know, where can people find you?
They can find me on kadokele.com, KADOKELE.com. All social media, the same address, at KADOKELE. Thank you.
Thank you to all three of you for coming on the Somerville Line. This has probably been, this is amazing. I love it. I think you guys all have, you know, beautiful messages and really awesome brands. And check them out at Boston Fashion Week. They're going to be there. They're going to have all the lovely things that you saw here on the show tonight. Make sure to follow them on all the social medias. Again, thank you to Miss Marie, Vick, and Sam for coming on the show. This was so amazing. Again, guys, a week from Sunday is going to be the Evolution of Hip Hop event right outside the studio in Union Square. We're going to have Oompa, who's headlining it. We're going to have tons of vendors out there. It's 2:30 to 6:30. You don't want to miss it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down. Even if you're passing by in the bus, you can hop off the bus and come on down. But we definitely want to see you guys out there. So until next week, this is the Somerville Line, and I'm your host, Crystal Chandler. Thanks for watching. Bye.